What's good, everyone? I'm Brian Sampson from Dunking with Wolves, and today I'm coming at you with a video breakdown about the embarrassing misuse of Karl-Anthony Towns. Despite being a transcendent scoring talent, the big man only averages 13.7 shots per game, which is 7th in the NBA among centers. His usage percentage is even lower at 22.1, which is 20th among centers. Let's find out why those numbers are so low. The biggest reason he doesn't get up as many shots as we'd like is due to the design, placement, and usage of him on the court. Far too often, Tom Thibodeau treats him like he's Joakim Noah of the Bulls. Now, don't get me wrong, Noah was a fine player, but he's not nearly the type of offensive force Towns can be. Let's just take a second and check out this play, for example. I'm going to run it one time through before breaking it down. This is a Timberwolves rub series that they run multiple times a game. After lining up in a bunch set, Towns slowly walks to the top of the key where he receives a pass from Jimmy Butler. Towns then rotates it to Jeff Teague on the opposite wing. The big man's sole purpose is then to set screens for his teammates and get them open. That's not a bad thing for a 7-footer to do, but the plays dictate this is Towns' primary function far too frequently. Towns is also posted on the high elbow far too often. This is a fine place for a guy like Noah, who can then facilitate by setting screens, completing dribble handoffs, and hitting guys for backdoors. However, for Towns, this is a bit too far out for him to post up, and it doesn't get him to the three-point line where he's deadly accurate. It's a really tough position for him to thrive in. Another issue I have with Towns' placement is that he's far too often used as a simple floor spacer for this team. By having him stand at the three-point line, he does force the opposing team's big man to come out and guard him or risk giving up a wide-open three to above 40% shooter. Although this also gives Butler and Andrew Wiggins room to operate down low or on the drive, it's a silly way to use a great offensive player. Part of this is due to the fact lots of times Towns is the last player down the court, especially after a made basket. With the aggressive scores that Timberwolves have, this trudging down the court wastes precious time and often means the guards and wings have taken a shot before he can get in a good offensive position. Without question, the guards need to slow down and wait for the franchise center, but that's like telling a wolf not to hunt. Also, Tom Thibodeau needs to take charge and be more vocal about getting Towns the ball. This message needs to start at the top and be implemented in practice situations. The last reason Towns doesn't get the ball very often, especially on the block where he often is a killer, is due to a lack of concerted effort. Watch here how he posts up down low on LeBron and has really good position. However, Butler looks him off completely before driving to the middle where he hits the tough turnaround. Other times, Towns isn't nearly as aggressive as he should be in fighting for position. Here, he barely battles with Channing Frye before giving up and sticking on the weak side block. The amount of post-ups Towns and his teammates miss is frightening and needs to be addressed immediately. He can be the one guy opposing teams can't match up with in the playoffs. Here, Butler recognizes the switch and points for Towns to go down low. Unfortunately, he can't secure good position, so they rotate it around the perimeter. While Towns then comes to the other side of the court like he should to post up and is finally able to catch the ball. But he's 17 feet out. I mean, this is a shot we've seen Towns make many times, but it's still a lot more difficult than a post-up baby hook if he would have got the ball right away. And then there are the frustrating times where his teammates simply look past him and flat out ignore him. I mean, this isn't just a Towns issue. His teammates need to do a lot better job as well. It's important to understand it's not always a natural progression for guards to feed the post, but Minnesota must make a much more concerted effort in doing so. Tom Thibodeau needs to be the one to implement this approach as it all starts at the top. Have you heard that before? If Minnesota can start to turn it around and getting Towns the ball more, who knows how far they can go. Well, thank you all for tuning into this video. I'd love it if you give it a like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can also follow me on Twitter at Brian Sampson NBA for all your Timberwolves related analysis. See you next time, Wolves fans.